Black Clover anime is finally here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting so long for this, and already a lot of people are saying that this may be one of the potential shows of the year, with all the hype that's being built upon it and all that. So let's just talk about this already and all that, because you guys know and all that, if you've been following me for a while and all that, I've been following Black Clover since the first chapter, reviewed like every single chapter or thus far and all that. And I've had an absolute blast with the show. It's just an enjoyable little series and all that. That isn't like, I wouldn't consider like as like a lot of people say it's like godlike, amazing and all that. It's a must read, but it's just such an enjoyable, fun read. And to see it now finally animated, and to see that they're trying to pull out all the stops when like we've been seeing interviews and people talking about they want to push this show and they want to push the series as hard as possible. They can definitely, you can see already in the first episode by like just the budget and the animation that they were like, yeah, we really want to do that, and they really want to make this a little bit cut above the rest and all that. So let's talk about Black Clover. So yeah, some people may know, as I mentioned before, sly little fan, I am up to date with all the volumes of the series thus far and all that, and I've been a fan of this guy's work and all that since like his original series, like Hungry Joker. Like it's like Yuki's Bar and all that, I feel like makes some interesting characters and just fun worlds to be in. And this is his first real time to shine and all that, as this is one of the first only few series that have actually survived like the long onslaught of like Shonen Jump. But generally with what we see in this first episode, we get to see our main protagonist, Asta, who in a world of magic just cannot use any at all, no matter what and all that. Like you see like children just doing fire magic, just nothing, because everyone can use it. It helps with daily lives, it helps with like with making medicine, with combat. Like everyone uses this, like women, children, soldiers, everyone uses that. And Asta's one of the only few characters like in this entire series that just cannot use this whatsoever. And like even though he still can do that, he still considers his like one of his like friends, like who was found on the same like church as well as him and all that. They've just been orphans that were left on the same doorstep. He's like, he considers this guy his rival, albeit this guy is a kind of prodigy that we get to see immediately, just mastering wind magic, just be able to do everything. Everyone loves him. He's the coolest guy in the world. Like all that typical, all that typical shonen stuff. And I want to say straight up throughout this entire, like, Black Clover is not like reinventing the shonen genre in a whole. In fact, with a lot of the stuff in the series, it heavily takes stuff from other shows as well. That's one of the things that this series was heavily criticized for and all that, and even still to this day that is still like it homages a ton of stuff like from Bleach, from Naruto, One Piece, and takes some sort of like a general ideas. It lives in the mold of shonen. That's its general thing, but the way how it does it, it's just an absolute blast and just a joyride, and that's the whole thing. And just seeing how well this was really well animated. I know a lot of people are kind of worried that this is going to be Period, and Period like for a while hasn't had the most amazing track record, like for the most part when it comes to adaptations. A lot of people going back to like what they did with the Tokyo Ghoul franchise, but they have generally made like fantastic action series way back when, like they did Yu Yu Hakusho, which is one of my favorite like just shonens just general. And regardless of like what they do with the Boruto series as well, that show is heavily well animated as well, and they have done some really excellent fight choreography in both that, in the Bleach series, and a bunch of other shows in general. So when we saw the first episode, like, it was just beautiful. The art was fantastic. Like, there was a lot of fluidity going around with the characters as well. And like, when we saw Asta, like, especially when he was like, let's go and take the magic exam and see, like, if we can get a grimoire. Of course, everyone else gets it apart from him. And he's there, like, just going, like, holding his hands in the air, going, guys, the grimoire's not coming out. Guys, you want to help me out here? And he's like, no. You're not getting an ass, and him just like frolicking around, like losing his shit. And just overall, the one thing I'd criticize about the shows on its animation is the chain guy, like the one guy that tried to steal like Yuno's like a grimoire at the end of the episode, like that random guy that used to be a Magic Knight. The CGI on his chains, and I remember that was a problem in the O&A as well when they had the Jump Festa special. The CGI just did not look particularly very good in there. Like, it just really standing out, like, compared to everything else. Like, it just didn't look that well and all that. Like, I was like, it looks a little bit weird and all that to be looking at that kind of stuff. But I'm not against CGI. CGI normally helps with a lot of things, but it just didn't look too practical for that like particular effect that they were going for. But like even with the episode as well, like as it projects on, you can see that Asta still considers Yuno his rival, and no matter what, even if he hasn't got a Grimoire, he's still going to keep trying no matter what. And even when he sees his friend getting attacked and like he tries his best but can't do anything without magic, he finally gets his Grimoire. And a little tale gets told about that, and even a little kind of spoiler of things to come as well. Like they really heavily hint at some stuff like later on in the manga as well, which I didn't mind because it felt like a little bit of the teaser for things to come and all that for people that don't know that. But I feel like for like manga reason and all that, when they saw like that little scene of Asta, you're like, yo, okay, wait a minute, they might be doing that. So that was kind of nice to see. But we see him pull out of this Grimoire a giant black blade. And the little tale goes on about like how like like the 3-leaf clover and all has faith, love, and hope, and then also as well the 4 clovers have like luck added into it. But the 5th one, which is what Asta has a demon like residing within it, and you just see this monstrous demon residing like all around Asta's shadow. And that's not where the first chapter ends of the manga, or there's still a little bit left until the end of the first chapter. But that was exactly where the episode ended. And I've got to say as well, we do get to hear the opening for a little bit. We don't get to see any visuals, we just get to hear like the song itself, and that song just sounds really goddamn good and all that for the most part. I'm looking forward to once more of the cast goes in. I will still say and all that, for a first chapter, like it does like introduce mainly like Asta kind of right. You do see him at like it's a bit of a goofball for the most part. But, like the same thing with like I still think as well that Black Clover doesn't really like come fully out of its shell until later on in the series. So I feel like for the most part it's a okay introduction. And I think this would have just been nothing compared to most shows. Honestly, I think the animation and the art and just everything around it helped a lot with this first episode. Like comparing it to other shonen that was going on at the time, it really helped that this show looked really nice and it was trying to be like a cut above the rest. Albeit though, I don't really want to give scorings too much, like particularly when it comes to Clover, because for the most part, this is the one series when I'm very biased against, like where I'm like, I actually really enjoy this show a lot and I don't want to get my flags going in there. But I do think in overall it was a good episode, but being realistically as a reviewer, it wasn't this amazing, oh my god, like episode. But then again, I felt like with a lot of the things I had on there, and it had quite a few fun characters here and there, I think it was a really good like episode for the most part. But it isn't going to be anything that you haven't seen before, and I think that's a lot with like what people like are kind of expecting with Black Clover. It's not like that it does anything like totally brand new to like reinvent the whole genre of like shonen. It just lives in that giant mold, kind of like how Academia did as well at the start, where it's just it loves the mold of like all the stuff that's come beforehand, and it just lives in it, and it just does it right and all that, and just does it in a way like Academia does it in a very clever way. Like Black Clover in a way, I think it just does it in the like entertaining way, and it has just a very enjoyable cast of characters. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing like the future of the cast and all that later on and all that. Let me know what you guys think in the first episode though. What did you think about Black Clover? But that's all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.